So he gets in an argument with his wife,
An Afrugment
and then he gets a targeted ad saying, "Yo,
about singles, about
that chick's
singles. That
crazy. You want
chick's
to hook up
crazy.
with some
Yeah.
sluts?" So AI is actively trying to home wreck. Hello, internet. Welcome to episode 263.
Hello, Internet. 263. Not bad. Not bad.
Nice, nice. I have some housekeeping to take care of.
Okay.
So, me and Geoff,
Housekeeping.
I guess, have decided that we're not going to talk about Trump anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
sweet.
I do have to like do a little disclaimer because it kind of feels like because I'm like the guy who was like talking about how he's happy Trump won, and then as soon as it kind of turns into a big shit sandwich, I'm like, we're not talking about it anymore. So I have to do a mea culpa and just admit that it had turned sour. Like I'm still happy he beat Kamala Harris, and I'm still optimistic about how like the ceasefire's still going, so I'm good. The Ukraine war, they are talking to Russia now, so they're gonna come up with something, which is good. The USAD thing was like it's kind of like weird because it's like on one hand, it seems like they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater where they're just like getting rid of everything. And like this podcast bro breaking points. Yeah. Crystal Ball had this good monologue about how it's kind of like their method of operations where it's like they see that it's a little corrupt, so they just get rid of it completely, and how that's the wrong way to go about it. And it's like, I guess, like the way that Elon Musk and Trump are doing, they're like, well, USAD is corrupt, so we're just getting rid of it. Whereas Biden was like, it's like his administration, they're like, it's corrupt, but it still works, so we're just gonna let it get more corrupt. So it's like you had these two different ends of the spectrum, and both of them are dumb. But like it's hard because USAD, you're like, well, they kind like maybe they had to like kind of just like hit it full force like a hammer because there was like some self-preserving things about it or whatever. But anyways, the main reason I don't want to talk about it is because it feels like homework and
It
it's
does.
not fun.
Yeah, yeah. You have to keep on top of it. It's
Yeah.
do your daily reading,
Oh,
right? Like
exactly.
it's yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, it's like I want to go do homework just so I can argue with my friends about it. And where it's like I don't really care. Like it's crazy interesting to see where it's going. But it also it's like at the
I
same
don't,
point you're like people are being affected and it's harming their lives and stuff. So you're like
yeah.
you feel guilty about it being interesting to see what happens.
It's a fine line. You're right. Like to
Yeah.
your point about USAID, like sometimes you do have to like break shit and start completely from scratch
Mm-hmm.
with stuff. Some things aren't salvageable, right? That's just
Yeah.
the way it is. That's any relationship, anything like that. It's just you can't fix it, so you got to fucking break it and starts from something new. Especially with a system that's so like horribly corrupt like that. My challenge with it is anything actually different going to come out of it,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So for
Yeah.
me it's like, and like you said, right, like it's like homework, and it's depressing, and it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work to talk about it constantly,
Oh
and
yeah.
then like yeah, and then like I don't like, it's not that I don't like arguing about it, I just it's just too much sometimes, right?
Yeah, and it's almost like when I argue with it about about it with someone, it's like it's not even like I'm emotionally attached to it. It's like I'm almost like a sociopath arguing about it because I have these like
Yeah,
ideals of what I think is right about it and wrong about it, but I'm not emotionally invested and I don't really care too much either way.
yeah,
Like I'm already like for me, I'm already good because the DNC lost and they'll probably have to like totally reestablish themselves. Because in
yeah,
my opinion, but the Biden fuckery is why we have this version of Trump. Because like 2016, Trump was crazy, but it wasn't very effectual because he was just surrounded with like people who had been there before who know how to run things, and then they just kind of like kept the American machine going. But then they did like all that lawfare against Trump, and then he's just like got a bug up his ass to just like root out the cause of everything. So like, and like one, like I'm convinced the reason he's so against USAID is because Biden used it to get Trump, like with those law
Right.
things. But this
Yeah.
is another thing about the homework. Like, I don't want to, like, I listened to this guy, Mike Benz. I listened to him on podcast for 5 hours,
Whoa.
and it was amazing because he did the Tucker Carlson for over an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he did Joe Rogan for over 3 hours. And if you're at all interested in the USAID and how, like, when people are like, oh, it's corrupt and you don't know, like this guy, Mike Benz, was like in US government. And for 10 years, he's just been like nerding out, looking into USAID. And he goes through so much stuff that's so great. Like, and the
So
boiled down, oh, sorry.
no, that says it right there. If he's been going through it for 10 years and he's
Yeah.
basically not even an expert on it, shows you how much we can do in an
Oh,
hour on
yeah.
a Sunday with our jobs and families. So like,
Yeah.
we're just scratching the surface of what this could possibly be, right?
And the
Literally
other
the
part,
surface. And
yeah.
it's pissing us both off. So
Yeah. But the one part about it is it's like, it's almost like conspiracy theorist cocaine, because it's like, according to Mike Benz, it's like all these conspiracies from the last, like, I guess it started in 1962 under JFK. So basically, every conspiracy involving the CIA or the FBI since then was funded by USAID,
oh
because he
man.
was saying, like, the way the CIA was using, according to Mike Benz, not according to Dale. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, point of
Allegedly,
clarification.
all that other
Allegedly.
stuff you have to say so you don't get in trouble. So he was saying it's basically when the CIA wants to do something and the president won't let them,
Mhm.
then they go to USAID, because the CIA can't act on like
Right, on their
Congress
own.
funded
Yeah.
stuff unless the
Yeah.
president's like, hey, yeah, do this. But then they could just go to USAID and like
Hey, I need money for this. Yeah.
use that spider web of funding to do it.
Yeah.
So the housekeeping about Trump is over. I don't, like, I
I
will
was like,
talk
is
about
this going to
it.
go on for an hour?
Yeah,
An
like
hour, an
last
hour,
time.
an hour. We're not going to talk about Trump, and we're out of time
Yeah.
today.
And it's
Yeah.
like RFK got approved, Tulsi Gabbard got approved. I'm good. That's all.
Dale's Dale's fine. I'm less good, but
Yeah,
it's not
everything I wanted
for
out of American
discussion.
politics I got. Oh,
Nice.
and also Trump said he's not good. Well, he didn't say he wasn't going to do the 25% tariffs. He just put this tweet out that said that he was only going to do reciprocal tariffs,
Mhm.
where he was only going to charge tariffs to countries what they charge him back. So that's all good too. Now we don't have to worry about the 25% tariff thing. Apparently, I don't know. Like, because it's weird because all the other tariff stuff he said was on tweets.
Yeah.
Or wait, he had the executive order, I guess. So that's a little
I
bit more formal.
the part I find is like the government, like I follow the government of BC,
Mhm.
and they're like doing, I guess, proactive Instagram messaging about the tariffs. Like, this is what a tariff is. This is how it works. This is how it's going to affect you. And like the other day they did when they're like, hey, these are reasons why Canada is sovereign. And I was like, what the hell? Like, they're the government of BC is like doing all these kind of proactive tweets to sort of, I guess, calm people's nerves about like
Mhm.
what's happening. But it's like, I read this thing that just said, take him seriously, don't take him literally. That's sort of the
Mm,
that's sort of the, and that kind of struck a chord with me, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, take him seriously, but don't take him literally. Like, he's not literally going to make Canada the 51st state. That's all
Yeah.
posturing, but you do have to take the threat seriously.
Although it would be funny if we got like what,
And the tariffs.
26
Sorry, you were
Senate
talking about the
seats.
tariffs, and I went on that
Yeah.
other way.
No, no,
Yeah,
that's
sorry,
good.
but like, even you can even see it. Like, the gas prices are fluctuating wildly right now, right? Like, I don't
Mhm.
even drive very much anymore, which is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
like, I've just been watching the gas prices, and it was like 198. This is for any of our American listeners. This is cents per liter. It's
Yeah.
0.198 cents per liter versus uh cents
No,
per
you mean
gallon, or whatever the hell you're,
198 cents.
yeah, whatever your
So that'd be
measure.
$8 a gallon, pretty
Yeah, eight
much.
bucks a gallon. And then it's like down to 172.9, and then it's up to 186.9. Like, it's just wild fluctuations right
Yeah.
now, and it's all speculation based on the tariffs, right?
And
Like, I
it's,
don't,
yeah.
there was energy tariffs that were supposed to go in that were 10% last week on Tuesday, and I don't know if it actually went through or not. But we'll, it's like, how do we even keep up with this? Again,
Yeah.
homework, right?
And it's funny because like As another reason I don't want to talk about Trump anymore is because I talk about Trump at work a lot
Right.
because
Yeah.
there's like dudes who want us to be the 51st state. They're like, aren't you
Yeah.
pumped we're going to be? And I was like, no. I mean, it'd be cool to move to South so I can go live in this like Vancouver's climate without the city being there. Like, I would full on move to Eugene, Oregon tomorrow if I could. But like he's like, don't you care about the gas price? I was like, bro, I spend $80 on gas every 2 weeks and I don't even look at the price. I just put
Yeah.
80
You
bucks
just put
in.
it in.
I just go to the till, be like, give me 80 bucks, and then I put it in. And that's once every 2 weeks because that's how long a tank of gas lasts me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
I don't think I'd live if I had the opportunity to move somewhere else. I would probably go somewhere warmer, like Florida. Like if
Yeah.
Florida wasn't such a disaster, I'd just go somewhere warmer.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to go too much warmer because welding in the heat
Oh yeah, that would
sucks.
suck. Yeah.
Yeah. But oh yeah, so some
I would go
more.
somewhere where I could motorcycle more in the
Oh,
more year
that's
round. Like right now, I
yeah.
hate this because I see people in California. They're like, "Brr, it's so cold here," and they're wearing like a hoodie and pants. They're like, "Oh, I've had to put on my hoodie and pants. It's so cold.
Yeah.
It's like plus 15 degrees, and they're riding around like it's so cold." I'm like, I would kill for that. I would kill for that.
Yeah. Like my ideal temperature is 15 Celsius.
15 Celsius is perfect.
Ooh,
It
it's
was
perfect.
13 today here in Burnaby.
Yeah, it
So it
was
was like,
nice.
yeah, it was nice today. It was a beautiful day today.
I almost wore shorts today, but I was like, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
be that
don't be that
guy.
guy.
I'm not
I
gonna be
saw
that
there's
guy.
a dude last week when it was like -10 wearing shorts, and I'm like, come
Oh
on.
my
And
god.
you know what he was? A big guy. He's a big guy. It's always a big
Yeah.
guy. It's always a big guy in shorts. And I'm not trying to be like
I
sizist or
he
whatever, but
he
it's always
probably
a big,
yeah.
it's never like a skinny guy in shorts in February.
Well, the reason is us big guys, pants don't fit properly because
That and
like
we get hot really
yeah,
easily.
if you get them big enough for your waist, then they're like weird on your
They're
legs and
weird in
they
your
like get
legs.
pulled
Yeah.
down. But shorts,
Yeah.
for some reason, stay up more.
Yep.
Like when I'm at home, it's
Shorts are the perfect. I'm wearing shorts right now.
me too, buddy.
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie. It's my usual around the
Nice.
house outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and what else was it? Oh yeah, other housekeeping. Sorry about the editing in the last episode. I totally remember when I was coughing and then I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll hold up my hands and I'll edit. Like 3 days after I put it up on YouTube, I was like, oh
I
fuck, I
forgot to
never
edit
edited that out.
that. Yeah.
And then I was like,
Coughing fits.
should I do it now? Like 4 or 5 days later, I was like, no, because then you have to
Nah.
pull the video down and put it back up. And I was like, and it's like one of those things you're like, and so I just let it go. I was like, I'll address
I
it.
don't think it's gonna make or break our follower count
No.
if there's a little coughing in the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And although it's funny because when I listen to podcasts and they do stuff where they're like, okay, just edit this out, I love it. Like I
Yeah.
love
Because
when
you
you're
know that they're
listening to
not doing it
yeah,
either, right? Yeah.
and you like get behind the scenes shit when they're like just like talking to each other, like they don't they assume they're gonna like
Yeah, they're gonna edit it out and they
edit
never
it
do
out,
it. Yeah.
which is funny. Like
We don't
sometimes they'll be like 3, 2, 1, and then they'll just say their point again.
Yeah. We don't have a producer or anything, so there's nobody here
Yeah.
monitoring us. It's just Dale and I doing it. It's actually just Dale. I just show up. So
Eh,
yeah.
it's pretty much my
You
only
get
creative
what you
endeavor.
get. Yeah.
Yeah. It's my hobby
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
This and video games. Those are the
Nice.
only two things I do besides work and family.
I draw pictures and
Ooh,
I build RC cars. That's it.
nice. How'd you
That's all
ride
I'm
a
doing right now.
motorbike? That counts.
Yeah, well, in the summer, not right now. It's winter,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm playing with little tiny RC cars instead of that.
Okay. Last thing about Trump. Remember
Okay.
last
Oh
week
my
when
god, we're almost 17 minutes in.
actually this is about Elon Musk.
Okay,
Remember last week when I told you my conspiracy theory about how Elon Musk was
there's a
a
robot from space.
biological robot from the future?
Yep.
So that crystal ball girl, lady, woman, chick, what are you supposed to say? I always
Crystal
default to
ball.
chick.
It's not even a real name.
That's her name.
It's not a
It's
real
her name.
name. It's not
It
a
is
real name.
funny. It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's
Anyways, so in her monologue about talking about like Trump, like she fucking hates Elon Musk, and it's almost to a point of like humor where I'm like, all right, yeah. Like I joke about how much I like him, even though he's like you're like he has to be evil, right? Like he can't just be doing all this and not be evil. Like you just
yeah.
expect it. But she was saying this is part of the conspiracy, like her conspiracy. And it's funny because it's like, when people who never talk about conspiracies start talking about something and it is a conspiracy and they don't even know it. I love that so
You think that's
much.
what happened? You think that's what's
Yeah.
happening?
Cause she would
Yeah.
start talking and she was like, saying what Elon Musk's actual intentions are and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is a conspiracy. She doesn't even know. And I was
She
like,
just walked into it headlong. Yeah.
is this what it feels like when gay dudes have sex with straight dudes? Just like, yeah, I got one.
I got one. One more. I got one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so her conspiracy theory.
I don't know how to know how that would feel.
So she was
Oh
saying
boy.
that Elon Musk is doing all this like cleaning up government and trying to like fix all the funding, not because he wants government to be more efficient, but because he wants there to be more money for his like fucking pipe dream to go to Mars. Like that's all he wants. He wants to go to Mars, but he's going to need so much money to do it. And that's why he's um like trying to like make government way more efficient so there's extra money for him to go to Mars. And you remember before when I was like, let's see where this goes, but then I feel bad because it affects people, but I'm still like have this like
On your at the
curious.
edge of your seat
Oh
waiting to
fuck,
hear about
dude.
it. Yeah.
Like when she said that the conspiracy theory was, or not the conspiracy, she didn't say conspiracy theory, so it's awkward. That was awkward the way I said that. But when she was like laying out his plan, I was like, this kind of makes me want him to do it more. Like,
Jesus.
I want to see if we could go to Mars. Like,
The thing is, there's no we going to Mars. It's rich people going to Mars. We won't go to Mars. We're never going to see Mars.
Geoff, I don't know if you know about this,
You know how badly I want to go to space. Don't fucking tease me with
but one of
we are
the
going to
best
Mars.
things that could possibly happen to Earth was if a bunch of the rich people fucked off.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point. But then they're gonna find a way to fucking rule from Mars. That's the thing, dude. Okay, so here's a tangent
Mhm.
on Tangent Factory that's talking about this same kind of thing. So you probably, I don't know if you know this or not, but this is the time of the year in British Columbia where we get our BC speculation tax. Do you know what that is? You know what that's all
Nope.
about? So you have to make a declaration saying you're not a rich asshole that owns a house that you don't live in. So basically, there's a problem in British Columbia where there's a lot of houses that are owned by people who don't live here and who don't pay taxes in BC or Canada. So this is like a huge real estate problem here. The blanket solution, and I kind of understand why they do it this way, but it also pisses me the hell off. Is everyone who owns property in 5 regions in the Lower Mainland, which is like Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, Coquitlam, and what's the other close one? North Van, I guess, and West Van. You have to like, I have to basically claim, I have to go onto a government website, put in my name, put in my social insurance number, tell them I filed taxes here in British Columbia last year, and tell them that I live in my house and that I've lived here for more than 50% of the year and that I've filed more than 50% of my income here in Canada. So this is the thing. You have to put this in if you own property. And I don't own property. I own a fucking townhouse. That's the I don't, the bank owns half of it, but you know, it's like I don't really actually own it. But no, we do almost. But the so I have to fill out this speculation tax form thing. So this, I'm getting to my point. I'm bringing this back to Elon Musk and Mars in just a moment. Okay, so anyone who was avoiding this tax on their vacant homes already, or was not paying this tax, is going to find a fucking way to not pay this tax some more.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's 2%. The tax is 2% on the value of your home or something like that. I'll have to look that up. I think that's pretty much what it is. So if you were finding loopholes to like own a house from outside of the country and not pay taxes on it before this tax came into place, there's no way you're not doing that now. My point is, rich assholes will always ruin everything for everybody. And I guarantee you that the rich people will move off of this planet and you're like, oh, that'll make it better here. It won't. They're going to fucking rule us from Mars.
That's if their spaceship doesn't blow up.
If the spaceship doesn't blow up. Hopefully they get just enough money to go to Mars, but not
Yeah.
enough money to build a spaceship that makes it to Mars.
We'll just turn off the transceiver. Just be like, oops.
You know what? My point is, rich assholes will find a way to fuck with us from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're, if you were already fucking the system, you're going to fuck the system some more.
Yes.
No matter what.
That's all.
Fucks. That's all. Rant over.
Okay.
Rant Rage Factory.
Do you want to make a hard
pivot?
Yeah, hard pivot.
Nick, go. An awkward, what is it? A whatever the opposite of a non sequitur is, a sequitur, I guess.
No, isn't a non fuck.
I know
I
it's one of those ones that's backwards.
I'm totally
It's
spaced.
one of those ones that doesn't make sense in the
I thought
reverse.
non
Yeah.
sequitur was then when they don't
Oh yeah,
align.
maybe you're right. Yeah, I guess you're making a
Yeah.
non sequitur. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think of the word
What do we call
segue and
it?
I
What is the
couldn't.
word? Segue. Yeah, a non
Yeah.
segue. Yeah.
Oh, you
Go,
had the
go.
brain fart too. I was like,
I did. I had the same one. I don't know.
yeah.
I said non sequitur. It's a non segue. Go.
Okay. Did you see this thing in the notes that I sent? A
Yes.
frugment.
Yes. Afrugment. What is that? Is
Okay.
that a real word?
No, it is now because I'm
You
making
were
it
gonna
a
make
real
it a
word.
word. That's right.
I
Okay.
stole it from AI. I think it's
Oh,
AI.
hey, I fucked up. Whoa. What do you
So,
know?
oh fuck, why don't I have Twitter open? Okay, so I'm just
A
gonna like,
frugment. Okay, tell me the backstory on a frugment again.
okay, so a friend of the show, I can't say who because for whatever reason they didn't want me to, um,
A friend of the show. That could
they
be
didn't want
anybody.
me to say who they were, but so they were doing the dishes and they
Ah,
got in a
my favorite
huge
thing.
argument with their wife. He didn't tell me, or they didn't. Sorry,
Oh shit.
I guess it's a he because I
Cat's out
said
of the
wife.
bag now. You're one
Yeah.
second away from
Anyways,
telling the name.
he
Yeah.
didn't tell me mostly because I didn't care what the argument was about. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the message he sent me.
Do you need me to talk about what I might think a fragment is while you're pulling
Yeah,
up the messages to fill the time?
yeah, sure.
So it's something to do with argument,
Yes.
but is it like post argument? Let's go. It's post argument or adjacent argument to
Yeah.
an
So
affrugment is an adjacent. Okay.
my what I coin because it like here I'll do so he gets in this argument with his wife
Yeah.
and then he gets this like this
It's
I'll
not
put
me for the record.
I'm just trying to show Geoff. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like one of those corny singles in your area.
Yeah.
I'll put it in if I remember this time. I'll put it in the show,
So, yeah,
and
but
it says,
it may or may not be in the show notes.
yeah, it has a picture of two racially ambiguous chicks in the top hugging, and it says, "Find your match. Join 90,000 singles who are actively seeking a connection." Oh, and he got this as a targeted ad on Facebook,
Right.
and it said, usually with two S's. Facebook
Usuli.
listening in is kind of creepy, but this kind of makes me feel like it's got my back after last night's argument over the dishes. But it said a frugment over the dishes. So he gets in an argument with his wife,
And a fragment
and then he gets a targeted ad saying, "Yo,
about singles, about
that chick's
singles in your,
crazy. You
that
want
chick's
to hook
crazy.
up with some
Yeah.
sluts?" So AI is actively trying to home wreck.
Wow, AI. How dare you?
And,
How
and
dare you?
I laughed so hard when he showed me that. It was so funny.
That's pretty
And
funny.
then I'm just pulling up Twitter because I came up with like I sat down at work when I should be working and I came up with an a meaning for frugment
Okay.
since
Uh on your like thing about targeted ads and shit, man. I was in the car
yeah.
with my wife today and I was like, man, I should get a bottle of wine. I haven't had wine in forever. I barely drink anymore. Barely
Mm-hmm.
drink. I'm like, man, I could really use a glass of wine. And I didn't say anything out loud. It was just in my head the
Yeah.
entire time. We got home. I laid down on the bed because I'm just
Yeah.
tired of being outside all day. And I opened my phone up and I'm flipping through reels on Instagram and boom, there's an ad for BCLC for wine, red wine specifically. I was
Nice.
like, I didn't even say it out loud. I was just thinking it and I got a fucking ad for it
That's fucking weird.
in my head. But then there was also there's another ad for something we were talking about the other day. Oh, we were talking about like something in the kitchen, like fucking knives or something, like kitchen knives. And I had an ad for kitchen knives
Crazy.
in my phone. I'm just like, yeah, this is
The worst will be like when AI sends you a message being like, "Yo, I heard you and your wife were arguing.
we're fighting.
Would you like some
How about
knives?"
some sluts? Oh,
Or not.
no.
There's sluts too. So
I'm
this is
too
my
old and I
meaning.
don't care. It's
A frugment. When you get baited into an argument, mostly online, by someone using AI produced materials as false proof of a claim.
oh,
So to
oh,
So it's basically like if someone's trolling you, but they're
yeah.
using AI shit. And you keep seeing it all the time. So it's a perfect time to come up with a new term because you're going to get into arguments with people. But I call it a frugment as kind of like, dude, you're just getting into an affrugment. This doesn't matter. Like that's AI bullshit. Don't worry about it.
Wouldn't it be AI argument?
Well, I say
AI
affrugment because
argument. Yeah,
the
because that's what
targeted
it came
ad
up with.
said affrugment.
That's pretty funny, man. Yeah, a fragment.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't man. That's yeah, a fragment. I don't.
So
I
I
don't
was
like
like,
that.
a
I don't like that
frugment
one bit.
factory, a
A Frugment
frugment
factory.
factory.
Nice. I like it.
That's
That's a
what I'm
good
going to
one.
call this episode. By the by.
Yeah. I'm just curious now, like what other crazy ass ads I'm gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. I
It would
don't
be
want this
sweet
to
if we
be.
got ads based on this podcast,
Oh man.
because that means that AI is listening to it, and then that should count as listeners. Is if you get scanned by AI, it should count on your YouTube feed. It
It
should
totally
give you as
should.
listens.
Yeah. Yeah, it should. Counting as AI listeners. Absolutely.
That would be hilarious if it did, and those were our only listeners.
It was you have 10 listens today. Sweet. All of them are AI. Oh, bogus.
Still counts.
Still counts. Still counts. Still, yeah. Does AI
Yeah,
start paying us? Is that what happens? Is that the next
yeah.
step? All right. What else
Okay.
we got? What else
I
we
did
got
I
to be
did some
outraged
actual
about today?
homework.
You did do
Sorry,
some homework. You did. You did do some homework.
I
What else do
did
we have to get
homework
angry about today?
on the Blake Lively Jabroni Baldoni, Justin Baldoni. Remember last week I was like, hey, we should talk about this, but I didn't look into it enough, and I didn't have my sources.
Yeah.
So I actually I didn't put the notes in the thing, Geoff. Do you want me to
Okay.
send them to you right now so you can read along?
Nope. Go for
Or
it.
do you want me to just, because it's
Nope.
kind of like
Do it up.
the Luigi Mangione,
Do it. Do it. Just do
where
it.
like I came up with a timeline.
Okay.
People.com, they have like an article on, like, they have a timeline. It's pretty sparse, like they don't say everything. So we'll go through the timeline, and then I only do, I like, my research is I listen to podcasts while I work.
Yeah.
But what
My
was it?
research is I read the links Dale sends me before the show, and then I show up unarmed.
Yeah. Andrew Schultz's podcast, Flagrant. They did a lot of what you would call it. They talked about the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing.
Oh, did they?
So I'll go through the timeline,
Okay.
and then I'll try to spur some spicy details that's left
Drop some
out.
knowledge. Let's go.
Okay. The trial date, by the way, is set for March 9th, 2026. They're both, like, if you don't know, you've grown under a rock. Blake Lively is, I think she was in Gossip Girl. Her and Justin
I don't.
Baldoni
I don't
are
actually
in this
know.
movie It Ends With Us, and it just came out this year.
Isn't the whole? Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know the times. Good,
Yeah.
good timelining. We're on top
Okay.
of it already.
Like,
Okay.
it comes up
Yeah.
after. I was just trying to
Okay.
give people like what's up. So anyways, it's like they were the co-leads in this movie, and then all this like rumors and stuff started because they're like, I don't think they get along, and then I'll
Yeah.
go through the timeline of what happens.
They stopped doing. Oh, you'll get to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So January 26th, 2023, It Ends With Us is announced with Lively and Baldoni as the leads. It's announced by whoever authored the book in like the teens,
Yeah.
like the 2000 teens. I can't remember exactly. May 5th starts shooting, but it is put on hold a month later due to the writer's strike. That's May 5th, 2023. Then we jump ahead to 2024. Filming picks back up, and the release date of the movie is pushed from February 24 to August 24, which to me seems very short for the turnaround on a movie. I feel like it usually takes like at least a year to make a movie.
No, I think that was a delay. Like it was the way you phrase that. It said it was set for release in February, but they changed the release date from February to
August.
August.
But
Sorry,
they
which that's
stopped filming in 2023 and
oh right.
started again in 2024.
But they may have had most of it already done,
That's true.
right? So they may have only had some final shots to finish up.
Well, they had done a month of shooting in May
Yeah,
2023, and then they pick up in 2024,
gotcha.
and then 8 months later it's going to be released.
Mhm.
So that means they're going to do
No, that
all
makes
the
sense.
shooting in an okay.
No,
To me, it felt short.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on the movie. It's not like it's a
I
high budget
guess.
action movie that needs
Yeah.
a bunch of edits and CGI shit put into
Yeah,
it, right?
because I always thinking like
It's a movie
superhero
about
movies because they
sexual
take like
abuse. It's not. Yeah,
5 years.
yeah, they take forever, right? This is just more of a
Mhm.
shot for shot movie, right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not that I'm not diminishing the creators of the movie. I'm simply saying it's a different style of movie.
And one of the things that happens is while it's editing, apparently one of the whole reasons one of the I guess conspiracy theories you could say about how this whole rift started was because Lively was trying to wrestle away the rights to the IP of It Ends With Us, like the rights to this movie and future movies and stuff. So rumors start to emerge about a feud between the two stars when Baldoni is missing from the press tour and takes interviews separately from the cast. And everybody's like, why the fuck isn't the main actor, director, executive producer going with the cast or whatever? And then like Blake Lively, she's doing the press tour and she talks about her like soft drinks because she has these like, I think they're called Betty Buzz, and it's like a
Betty
line
Buzz,
of
yeah,
drinks.
they're alcoholic drinks, yeah.
Yeah, and then she has another one, like another hair product. So she's like trying to worm those into the like press junkets for this movie, and everybody's like, "What?" And then there was also this thing about how she was being like upbeat and stuff, where the movie is basically about like spousal abuse
Spousal
and
abuse, yeah.
all that stuff, and a lot of people were upset with how like lighthearted about the whole thing Blake Lively was, which I could kind of
Yeah,
see.
you can see that. It would be weird, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you want to get, but like there's this weird thing about like society and everything is just like colorful and glossy when you're like talking about it on like mainstream stuff, and then you like watch it and it's super dark and stuff,
Yeah.
but they don't want to say that. It's yeah. And then August 6th, 2024, Baldoni walks the red carpet at the release separate from the other stars and doesn't pose with them on the carpet. That's what I was talking about.
Right.
The movie is introduced before the showing by Lively and Colleen Hoover, who's the
The press secretary or whatever,
novel
right?
or author
The
of the
novelist?
novel.
Yeah.
And then so that's weird because usually when you have a premiere of a movie, the director
Yeah, the
comes
director
out.
comes out.
But this time it was like Blake Lively and the chick who wrote the book, where you're like, that's why would you have the lead actress and the author of the source material?
Yeah.
So fans point out that Lively and Jenny Slate, another actor in the movie, do not follow Baldoni on Instagram, which I
Don't
didn't know
follow.
about this, but if like somebody doesn't follow you on Instagram and you're famous, that means you got beef.
Oh,
So
okay.
since
Cool.
Blake Lively and Jenny Slate don't follow Baldoni on Instagram, like a lot of people are like, oh, that means some shit's going on.
Eh.
Whereas me, I'd be like, I don't think that at all. But apparently it's a big warning sign.
Well, and like who has time to like scroll through somebody's list of people and look to see if someone else is following
Oh,
someone? Now that
Jeff,
I've said that out loud, I'm sure there's lots of
people
people
got
who do
time.
that.
You and me don't
Jesus.
got time.
Well, I mean, that's
I
not
mean,
even important to me. Like,
that's
fuck
true. I
off.
mean,
Like,
if we cared about it, we would have
if I'm
fine
not,
time.
if I'm not following you on Instagram, it's because I've chosen not to, and I have
Yeah.
beef with you. That's
Let me
that's
just
it.
double check if
I
you're
have,
following
man,
me.
I have so many beefs with so many people because
Do
I
you?
don't follow anybody.
Do you
No,
have beefs?
I have many beefs. I'm the beef master. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just
That's okay. Are you looking? You checking to see if I follow? I follow you. Don't worry.
no,
It's fine.
I'm
You don't post
fucking
anything.
with my mic because
It's not summertime. You don't post anything until the summer when you start taking pictures of flowers when
yeah,
you go
I
outside
haven't
for a
posted on
walk.
Instagram in a long time.
Yeah, man, it's
Hey,
been
does this
forever. What are you
changing the
doing?
way I sound?
No, you sound the same.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
That's
Full
okay.
disclosure,
I
I
forgive you.
switched headphones and
Yeah, you're
these
on
ones
different ones.
sound way louder than my other ones. So I'm
Yeah.
like, am I talking loud? Do I sound the same? Anyways, okay.
Okay, timeline continues.
So as me and
I
Jeff
got
think,
beef.
when you don't follow each other on Instagram, that's a stupid thing. But apparently it's a thing because it's like a lot of time, like I've seen it with like rappers and stuff, or like it's a sign that people are like famous couples are breaking up is when they unfollow each other on Instagram, or when there's like a friend breakup. It's one of
Man.
those things, I guess. I think
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
why I
like,
could never like do any of that shit. Like, not because I don't want to put in the effort, which I obviously don't, but it's just like so much dumb shit that
it's
shouldn't make sense that you have to learn.
I don't want to learn that stuff.
No,
It's I don't have time. I got other shit going
exactly.
on. I have lots of laying on the bed I have to do and thinking about my life. So I don't have time for that.
I have
But
a
yeah,
lot of
that makes sense.
breathing heavy.
I've heard I have a lot of breathing. I have a lot of stairs I got to climb.
Yeah.
I got a lot of rocks I have to push uphill for the eternity. I do. That does make sense though. Now that I think about it, like I've heard women friends of mine talk about being internet sleuths. like they
Ooh,
spend time doing this shit, like finding out with who's got beef with who,
dude.
because like with this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't follow
Do
people
they want
back
to be
most of the
research
time.
assistants?
I think, well, yeah, maybe.
Dude, hit them up. Be
Oh,
like,
for
hey, if
Outrage
you
Factory, if you're not busy, can you find out who has beef with whom
or
for
just be
our
like, hey,
podcast?
I do this podcast with my super handsome friend Dale, who just got a haircut.
That's true. He looks good.
And if you love like internet sleuthing and you feel like you're not
But they're
getting an
not
output
they're
for your
not gonna
sleuthing,
do it. They're not gonna do it for fucking the Anunnaki. They're not gonna do it for that kind of stuff. They're not gonna do it. They're only gonna do it for drama. That's the
hmm,
only time they're gonna do it. Is who's boning who
dude, I
and
could
who's
handle it. Oh, dude, we should have a segment of like internet or friend of the show truther drama,
oh,
or not
beef,
truther
beef,
drama, because
friend of the
that
show. Oh
are
man.
like research assistant. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, we need an intern, is what you're saying.
tell them
Yeah,
if
we
they
need an
want to do
intern.
the
Okay.
homework, I will gladly talk about what they find.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. I'll put in a good word
Yes.
for you. That'll be good. Oh man, my friend's gonna love that. She'll think that's amazing. Like,
That's
cool. Okay.
awesome.
Find the dirt. Find it.
Yeah.
Go forth and find the dirt.
If you can't exploit your friends,
And
Geoff,
then who
what
can
are
you
we even
exploit? Then
doing?
why are we even doing this? Yeah, totally. No, I know.
Okay, so August 9th, 2024, movie opens making 50 million in the first weekend, and by the third weekend it made 242 million, which makes it Lively's highest grossing project, which to me, I don't know if I've just been soiled by all this talk, like how, when we were talking about we're not going to talk about Trump or whatever,
Yep.
and they're always talking about hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars and
Oh
shit.
yeah, 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 totally. And you live in the world of like Marvel movies and shit, where
Yeah.
like it grossed $86 million at the box office in the first 3 hours. Like, of course it did, right? Like
Yeah,
you're again, this movie didn't take 5 years to edit.
that's true.
There is no backstory or lore. There is a book that exists that somebody made a movie out of, and
I
it
mean,
is
I guess on
entirely a
an
drama.
8 month turnaround, 242 million is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
So
Absolutely.
I think this is kind of like lends credence, like since it's Blake Lively's highest grossing project, it kind of lends credence to the whole trying to wrestle away
Right.
like the
Yeah.
rights to the
She
IP.
wants the t-shirt revenue and
Hmm.
the action figure revenue.
Yeah.
Are there action figures from this movie?
There should be
A
horribly.
little,
I
you
only
can
saw
make a little
pictures.
Blake Lively fight the
Yeah.
Baldoni guy. Like,
And they're like horribly dressed or something. It's funny because Blake
yeah.
Lively's supposed to like, another thing people were upset about is because she's like 37 or something, and the character she's supposed to play is in her mid 20s,
Oh,
and
so
they're
just like,
upset
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
But it's
Well,
funny because I don't
it's
care.
like you've never seen Friends.
Yeah. Blake Lively's still like,
Yeah,
she still
dude.
looks good enough to be 24 or
I
whatever.
watched Cobra Kai. I finished watching Cobra Kai with
Yeah.
Ali the other day, and like they're supposed to be in high school, and they're all like 27 and 28, right? Like you're like fucking,
Yeah.
you're grade 13, grade 14 there. Like it's
And
third
it's,
year college. Yeah.
yeah. Well, my point was about the action figures. It'd be funny because Blake Lively's character, like, is just dresses ugly. Like, I saw a picture and she was wearing like a
I've seen some
long
pretty ugly
brown
action
leather
figures.
jacket, these jeans with flowers on them, and spike heels. And it's
Oh,
like,
is it a
I'm not
period
a,
piece that takes place in the early 2000s?
I don't know, but it's just like one of the things about the character. She's like this, like, eccentric dresser or something, I
Yeah,
guess, in the books. But anyways,
I want to be that when I grow up.
it would just be like an action figure that's horribly dressed, which would be funny.
Nice.
So August 13th, Baldoni hires a crisis PR representative, Melissa Nathan of the agency group, who previously worked with Johnny Depp.
Uh-oh.
Dun dun
That's not good.
dun.
Dun
And my
dun
whole thing about this
dun.
is like, oh, is this the new Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing? Like, are they just trying to drum up press because of how much everybody like was into that whole thing?
Oh my God.
Oh, and
Well,
it's funny because it's like that just reminded me because when the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing was, I think Derek was still co-hosting with me. I
yeah.
don't know if we talked about it that much because while I was doing this research, I kept second guessing myself and I was like, should I be talking about this much? I don't feel like maybe like anybody cares about this Blake Lively Baldoni thing, but then I just see it everywhere. So I was like, obviously people care. And you know how much people care, Geoff?
How much?
It's in fucking teller magazines at the grocery store.
Oh,
In
like the ones at the
touch.
checkouts?
Yeah, right at the checkout.
Really?
There's like this big Blake Lively thing. And I was like, oh, maybe I should. And I
I'm,
was like, okay, I
I'm
don't
wondering
feel
if it's
bad about researching it.
like, I hate to do this because it's kind of patriarchal or
Mm-hmm.
misogynistic, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
because of her connection to Ryan Reynolds and Ryan
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds' connection to Canada in a 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon sort of way. It's
Mm-hmm.
important to people here.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And that connection to Ryan Reynolds, like it's not in the timeline I'm talking about,
Mhm.
but apparently Ryan Reynolds, because so what happens at one point, like Blake Lively says, Justin Baldoni said all this mean shit about her. And one of the things was she said he called her, he was like fat shaming her. But
Yeah, he was.
apparently, sorry, you were going to say
No,
something.
go ahead.
What
Go.
happened was Justin Baldoni fucking exploded his back at some point, and he has like Luigi Mangione back where it's just like held together with screws and plates.
Oh man,
So he can't lift heavy things. And in the book, there's this scene where it's like a torrent affair or something, and he like
torrid.
lifts her up.
Yeah,
What's that?
torrid, not torrent.
Oh,
Different thing.
thanks, Geoff.
You're welcome. Here for you.
I'm glad you corrected me because people have been like Dale's dumb, and now they're like Dale's dumb, but Geoff's smart. So
Sorry,
anyway,
I totally
yeah,
interrupted your flow with my
no, that's fine.
grammatic
Like
correction.
the whole like there was this, they were like talking about it because they didn't know if they wanted to put him picking her up and stuff. And
Right.
you like you and me are like, who gives a fuck? Your back's exploded. Don't pick her up.
Yeah.
But in the book, it's kind of like this pivotal moment or
Yeah.
something
It's
where
critical
she
to the
like
crucial to the story.
realizes how strong he is, and then she gets like fucking
Oh,
lady gush.
yep. Yep. That happens to me
So
all the time.
yeah, people pick
Allie,
you up and
really?
you get lady gush.
Yeah, people pick me up and I just, oh, don't pick me up. I'm gonna get gushy. There's
They
things
pick
gonna
you up and you're
happen.
like, I pooped.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't put hands on me like
Yeah.
that. Oh shit.
So the thing is, he has this exploded back, and there's this
Yeah.
scene where he has to lift her up. So he was like talking to his personal trainer. He's like, "Yo, I gotta lift this chick. She just had a kid. I don't know how heavy she is. She's not like movie star light anymore." So he was like, apparently he asked someone her weight behind her back, and that's the fat shaming thing.
Oh, well, there's got to be a better way to go about it. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's Hollywood. They've got to have some rules and restrictions and stuff. Could he not be a stunt double that lifts her? Could it?
that's a
Oh,
good
here's the
point,
problem.
Geoff.
They're rushing this movie to the end. Like,
Yes.
couldn't they? Right? Like, they could CGI in the scene
Mhm.
where he lifts her, right?
Yeah.
And Lady Gush happens, and the
You
torrid
could
affair.
definitely have a
There's ways
fucking
to do it, right?
yeah, you
Not
could
if you're
def
rushing the end of the film to
I
February.
guess he's a director, so he's like, I've got to make this look
It's got to be me.
good.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
can't just like get
That's ego,
body
Dale.
double to
That's
lift her and
ego.
then have like her standing on a cart for or a
Yeah,
box
totally.
for the
A
thing.
box. Yeah. Laying
Yeah.
on a gurney as he turns around and it looks like he's holding her. There's ways to do it. Get
Yeah.
creative, man.
So after that, after the whole like he body shamed her, Ryan Reynolds apparently pulled Baldoni into like a room full of people on the movie and just fucking laid into him and screamed at him in front of everybody because one of the reasons this is getting so popular, it's like the Ellen DeGeneres thing. Remember when people were like, "Yo, Ellen DeGeneres is a bitch"? What? And they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, a really famous person gets mad and wants things their way." Apparently, Ryan Reynolds is like, what's her name? That chick, uh, the black chick from the right that everybody hates. Oh my
I
god,
have
Candace
no idea.
Owens. Okay, so Candace Owens is this like alt right. She was like with Ben Shapiro on their like
Oh, fuck that kid.
thing, but they
Anyway.
had like a split up or whatever.
Oh, the name sounds familiar now that you say it out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but she's like deep into this, and that's one of the reasons it's so popular is because like at when this started, like one of the reasons this is so tumultuous
Oh, good one.
is
See?
because when it came out, everybody's like on Blake Lively's side because they're like, this guy's a jerk, Jabroni Balbadoni. Fuck him. He said she was fat. He like looked at her breastfeeding. Fuck him. But it turns out like Candace Owens, I don't know if she has like just hates Ryan Reynolds, but she's like just going ham on this and like pointing out all the like weird intricacies of like how Blake Lively's receipts don't add up and Justin Baldoni has like all the text that
Oh
Lively
my
sent
God.
her and it's like turning around that it's like Lively's the bad person here and stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Drama. Don't care.
While you just care enough while we're talking
I
about this
care.
timeline.
I care enough that
Mhm.
like, yeah, these are adult people that make a lot of money.
Yeah,
Like,
they do.
I don't care. Let them eat themselves.
So December 20th, 2024.
Fair enough.
Lively files a complaint against Baldoni in California, which she accused Baldoni of exhibiting disturbing and unprofessional behavior on the set that led to a hostile work environment.
Mm.
The complaint was filed against not only Baldoni, but also the film's lead producer, Jamie Heath, as well as Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios. Okay, just want to tap in here a sec because nobody's mentioned this egregiously bad name. Remember the whole Wayfarer thing about selling kids like a couple of years ago?
No, like vaguely.
Yeah, there's this website Wayfair that they sell like it's
Oh
like
no, Wayfair. The yes, and they're like putting like Russian women into
yeah, and like
cabinets
kids
and
and
calling
stuff.
them like Antonia, and then mailing them here.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's this
okay,
whole
right.
like
I do remember that. Yeah,
weirdo conspiracy thing
yeah.
to the point where if I
Like,
had
why is this thing
a
$1,000?
production company, I wouldn't call it Wayfarer Studios.
Well, I mean, the most famous sunglasses in the world are called the Wayfarers, the Ray-Ban Wayfarers. Like, it's not, it's
That's true.
right. Yeah, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't fit, anyways, you can't fit kids in a
You
pair
can't
of
fit children
sunglasses.
in a sunglasses box. You
Yeah.
can, you just need a wood chipper and some time.
Oh, snap.
Oh, Dale, don't give me a challenge. I don't want a
Okay.
challenge today.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So they sued the Baldoni, his Wayfarer Studios, and the co-founder Steve Sorowitz. It also filed against Jed Wallace, Melissa Nathan, and Jennifer Abel, each of whom are named in the alleged effort to tarnish Lively's reputation earlier this year. So they're all saying that like Baldoni was all like, "This chick's crazy. I didn't do anything," and then Lively's like, "He's ruining my reputation." And I mean, I like when I was researching this. First, I was Team Blake Lively. I'm like, I like Ryan Reynolds. She seems like a nice girl. This Baldoni guy seems like a creep. And then I was like, Baldoni, on Team Baldoni. I was like, he's just misinterpreted because he's like a male feminist. So I never trust those guys. I'm like, why
Mm.
is he so weird? And then I keep jumping back and forth. And right now, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I mean, and that's a fair place to land. And I don't know, because basically what I read in the article that you sent me is that they're effectively both suing one another for slander
Mm-hmm.
against each other's reputation at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
it spun from one thing to another thing. He said, she said, typically I'm going to listen to Blake Lively saying something over Justin Baldoni saying something,
Yeah.
because 9 times out of 10 it's the man that's the creep. That's just fucking facts.
Yeah.
But I see your point though, right? It's now to the point where it's gone through all of that, and now they're both suing each other for
Yeah.
defamation of character on either side of one another.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
December 20th, Blake Lively files the complaint. December 21st,
that's like recently, right? Like this last December
yeah, New York
2024.
Times publishes a story investigating Lively's claims. So they like the day after she's like, "Hey, I'm filing this thing." They're all like, "Oh, we have all this backup." So they're like, it feels like they're kind of in on it.
Mm.
And Blake Lively was like feeding them, and they're like, "Okay, we're done writing the story. It's going to come out tomorrow." And then Lively was like, "Okay, now I will drop this lawsuit." So it's kind of like, okay, if you're just suing this guy because he was doing fucked up shit,
Yeah,
why would you get this whole thing with the New York Times?
because
And then,
doesn't it come down to she's trying to get the IP to the movie,
yeah.
right?
So, and then the New York Times releases this investigative piece taking Lively's side, and Baldoni is dropped by his agency, Williams
Right.
Morris Endeavor, who also represents Lively, and I
Weird.
think Ryan Reynolds. So they're all, it's like,
They all know each other. Yeah.
yeah.
Weird.
And then on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2024, Baldoni files lawsuit against the New York Times for $250 million, claiming that the outlet used cherry-picked and altered communications,
Mm.
stripped of necessary context, and deliberately spliced to mislead. Baldoni alleged that Reynolds demanded that his WME agent drop him at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, which is crazy. Baldoni also refuted some of the claims made in Lively's lawsuit, alleging that he was involved or invited. Okay, remember the thing I said about breastfeeding?
Yeah.
So one of Lively's claims was that Baldoni just like came into her bed,
Her dressing
her
room.
her
Yeah.
dressing room trailer, like change trailer, while she was breastfeeding her kid. But so Baldoni had like then Baldoni's like, I have the text messages. And it's like, so Baldoni refuted this, and he claims he made in Lively's lawsuits. So he said he was invited into her trailer. He included the screenshots of his alleged conversation with her, in which she said, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines." He responded, "Copy, eating with crew, and we'll head that way." So it's like, what the fuck? And
Right.
another thing too was that she had claimed that he showed her pornographic images, but he was like just showing her pictures of people who were like doing home birth or something, or like pregnant, but I don't know. He was like showing her pictures of his naked wife
Right.
to do with pregnancy and breastfeeding. I don't know.
Weird. Still weird. Still
Yeah.
weird. Like I have a whole. We had so when our son was born, we had a midwife, and she took a bunch of pictures and video of like during the birth, and I've got it on a file. I've never showed anyone. I've never even opened it since then because I don't want to see that. Right. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna like show somebody I work with pictures of my birth, my birth, my wife's birth.
You know what you do? Does your
What?
son know you have these?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think we've
Nice.
ever told him. They're literally like on a hard drive above me
Never tell
in the
him,
office.
and then just
Played
put
at
him
his
on his
wedding.
wedding.
Totally.
Just be
Oh my
like, oh,
god.
we have a little film that we want to show everybody, and it's just his mom screaming and pushing him out.
Yeah. It's fucking terrifying. You came into this world screaming through a torn vagina. You will leave this world the same, like
Yeah.
roughly the same manner. Yeah.
Okay, so oh damn. There's a bunch of shit left. Okay, we're gonna have to power through this because we've almost
Okay.
been an hour.
Yep.
And
I need to have
okay.
a shower and go to bed.
Yeah, me too. So December 31st, the same day as Baldoni filed his lawsuit, Lively files the same complaint she had against Baldoni before she filed it in California. Now she's filing it in New York. January 16th, Baldoni directly sued Lively as well as Reynolds, Sloan, and her PR company in his complaint. Baldoni accused Lively, I think this is the one that was for 400 million.
Okay.
Baldoni accused Lively of never having read the book on which the movie is based and therefore making wrong-headed creative decisions. Because one of the reasons they're having strife was she was also an executive producer, so she kept like wanting to make decisions about what happened in the
Right.
movie. And then he was like, "You never read the book. You don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about." Blah blah blah. And then that reflected her fundamental lack of understanding of the book. Baldoni's complaint claims Lively began asserting control over the film, inserting herself into the production process in intrusive ways. He added that at one point she joked that Baldoni should get plastic surgery on his nose while filming a scene for the movie, which
That's weird.
it's weird, but it's like there's this other thing too where one of the complaints was Lively was like he like used his director schmaz to try to kiss me in one of the scenes, and then she had showed this scene where she's like showing pulling away because there's this like close up, like they just did like they were just did rolling shooting where they like had them like dancing,
Mhm.
and it's like a 5 minute thing. And there's
I'm
a
not going to
video
go
of it.
see this movie.
No, I'm not. But so what happened was it's like them being in love or whatever in a scene, but they're just kind of like going up and they're like just shooting like 10 minutes or whatever, and then they'll cut it up and put it in the movie. And so she says during this that he tried to kiss her and she pulled away. And then he said at this point that she said he should get plastic surgery. And then she released a clip of this video with no sound, But then he released a clip of the video with sound, and there was just like, it was like them, and he's like, do you think we should kiss? I think that would be more romantic. And she's like, no, we should just look in each other's eyes. Me and my husband look at my, and they like took all the boners out of it.
Oh man, yeah.
And then and then and the nose
The
thing was
movie
kind of
magic is
funny
gone. Yeah.
because they like brush cheeks or whatever because they're like supposed to be in love, and he's like, oh, I think I got beard on you. And then she's like, oh, I think I got suntan oil on you. He's like, that's okay, it smells good. And then they like moved and their noses donked.
That's my everyday.
Yeah, and
Look at this
then
thing. It donks
yeah,
on everything. Yes.
and then they're joking, and he's like, oh, sorry about my nose. She's like, yeah, you should get that taken care of. And he's like, yeah, I'll just get, and then she was like, we should stop filming and so you can get that taken care of or whatever. And then he says, yeah, what, do you don't think a big nose is good? And that, but the funniest thing was he's like, I cast Jenny Slate just for she could be on the
Just
nose team.
all
Which
nose team.
nobody
The all
has
nose team.
mentioned, which
Yeah.
should be a scandal for him saying he hired her just because she has a big nose. Yeah, so that on January 21st, Baldoni's team released that video footage to outlets on TMZ. That's where I watched it. Sorry, I'm just trying to skip through what we all talked about. Yeah, so anyway, that I was just skipping that paragraph because that talks about that video. So January 27th, now we're getting to almost where we are now because it's February 23 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording this February 23, so less than
Right.
a month ago, January 27th. Like this is still developing.
Yeah.
So January 27th, 2025, Judge Louis J. Lyman outlined in an order filed on January 27th that both cases have now been consolidated as Lively versus Baldoni et al. So he basically took like all the different things that Baldoni was suing Lively for and the two like different things that Lively was suing him, and he's just like, this is just one big fucking thing. We're
Yeah.
just gonna do a Royal Rumble, Lively versus Baldoni. Let's go. And that's scheduled for March 9th, 2026. In the meantime, a pretrial hearing was set to hash out Lively's prospective request for a gag order. That same date, a voice note from Baldoni that allegedly sent to Lively was leaked to the actor apologizing for his response to Lively's tweaks on the scripts. And this is one of the ones that made me like on Team Lively because it's like Baldoni calls Lively at like 2 a.m. He's like, hey, I just wanted to call and say that I'm sorry about the way I overreacted to your changes to the script. And it's like so creepy and bad.
Talking about putting the boners back into this. Thanks, Dale.
Can you hear that?
I can. Yeah. She's the boners are gone. She's
That's why we have to keep it under an hour because
yeah.
my toddler wants to see me because
Yeah.
I don't know. She just
because you're not there. Because you're not there. Because we
that's
always
true.
want what we can't have.
Yeah. And then I'll go in there and she'll be like, hey, Dad.
Yeah. And then ignore you. Yeah. She just wants to be able to know that you're available.
Okay. There's only like 4 more. So we'll like finish this.
Okay. Sweet. To wrap it up.
And then anything else we didn't talk about in my notes, I'll just put in the next week. And then,
Sweet.
yeah. So February 1st, Baldoni launches a website, which was simply titled Lawsuit Info, contains a link to a PDF of Baldoni's amended complaint and a link to a timeline of relevant events, which leads to a PDF detailing allegations of everything that led up to Lively's casting and all that has taken place since, including screenshots of alleged conversations between the two. And I didn't even look at that because at this point I was like, I've done so much homework.
You've done so much homework. The homework is big. Yeah.
February 3rd, during Lively and Baldoni's pretrial, Judge Lehman warned the actors' teams to not litigate their legal battle in the press, threatening to expedite the trial if they did so. He also instructed both parties to comply with the New York Rules of Professional Conduct, which prohibit attorneys from making comments that could have a substantial likelihood of biasing a jury.
A jury, yeah.
Okay, I don't think we really need to like, because the rest of it's just kind of nitpicky.
It's back and forth legal stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there is one big thing that happened like Friday, February 19th. So Lively files an amended version of her complaint. So like the complaint that she had put in before, she like changes it and resubmits it, I guess. Her lawyers allege that it provides significant additional evidence and corroboration of her original claims and includes previously undisclosed communications involving Lively, Sony, Wayfarer Studios, and numerous other witnesses. A spokesperson for Lively added that the new filing details the corroboration that backs up Blake's original sexual harassment and retaliation concerns. The spokesperson claimed it shows that other women confided in Blake about their discomfort and fear of coming forward, and their concern about the current public vitriol.
Public vitriol. It's my favorite kind.
So yeah, I was actually watching Candace Owens talk about this because she's like, it was like a 600 page something, and I was like, or 160 page thing, and I was like, that seems
Jesus.
like a lot to sift through. But it's fucked because Lively, like in there, she says there's these other people who were like had problems with Baldoni and they didn't want to come forward because they didn't
Right.
want the public scrutiny.
Yeah.
So in her amendment, Lively's like, okay, so I have all these like women who said he did this stuff, but I'm not going to say their names because they don't want
They
to
don't want to, yeah, they don't want to be
come
dragged
forward.
into, they don't want to be dragged into the drama.
But he's like, but they can testify in court. Or she's like, they could testify in court. So she's basically like, they don't want to say who they are,
Right.
but I'm going to give you their names for legal matters.
For
And
legal
then they'll get
purposes. Yeah.
deposed and have to come and talk
Yeah.
in court. So she's kind of like being two-faced about it, where she's like,
Yeah.
no, I won't tell anybody you said it until the court date when I legally
When I
make
bring
you go
everyone
tell
in.
everybody.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There might be a strategy though behind that too, right? Like that's a PR play to
Mhm.
like not give up your sources, because then, they can be, depending on who the people are, they could be easily swayed if they
That's
buy
true.
money, by whatever, right? By the promise of saying something different by somebody else. If they get to them, it's kind of keeping your sources close to your vest,
Mhm.
right? In a way.
Well, you'd think that these are all famous actors, but I guess that.
Probably, but who they could be people behind the scenes, caterers,
Mhm. Oh,
grips, camera people, like all kinds
yeah.
of stuff, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
People who work on the movie with them.
Yeah.
They aren't necessarily famous actors.
Mhm.
I don't even know who else is in that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Justin Baldoni was until this all came about.
It just seems like one of those girl movies that's depressing that girls love. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
like, I can only watch like romantic comedies or romantic dramedies. I do not want to watch like depressing dramas
Well, especially about
about
like
domestic
spousal
abuse.
abuse. I'm not
Oof.
into these. This is like I have, yeah. Like
I'm good.
currently enjoying my marriage.
Yeah.
Like and it's a marriage, so it's not always love and roses, but it's you know,
Yeah. It's not something I want a movie made of
yeah. I don't
or
want to
to
or to watch
watch.
a movie made about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even watch
yeah.
horror movies anymore because they make
I
me
don't watch
feel
horror
bad.
movies at all. I'm scared. I don't like blood. It's gross.
And it's funny because
It's-
I was talking to my brother about it because he was just like said he watched some horror movies. Like I don't watch horror movies because they're either they don't scare me and they're
yeah,
dumb, or they do scare me and just fucking
yeah. You
scares the
can't
shit
sleep
out of me.
forever. Yeah, it's just it's not very fun, right? I
Yeah,
don't find
like
horror movies fun.
the last one like that I can remember was Paranormal Activity 4, 3 or
Yeah,
4. That was so fucking scary.
yeah. That's no
Oh, it was
fun,
about
right?
like demons living in your closet and like
No.
dragging this girl into a closet. And I was like, I can't. And then
Fun
it turns
fact:
out,
we don't have a closet.
oh, really?
Yeah, so I can't have demons live in my closet. It's nice.
That's a smart move, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I commend you. Like, there's no boogeyman in Jeff's house because he doesn't have
Well,
closets.
we don't have like a traditional. We have like a non-traditional closet. It's fine.
Don't make boogeyman loopholes, Jeff. You're safe right now.
Well, basically, we have a room that we've converted into a closet.
Mhm.
It's like a not a real. I guess it's a walk-in closet. I guess it has a door. It's like a room,
Is it like a den?
like a den, but it's become a closet. And it's the door faces away from our bed, so I can't get
Oh.
boogeyman because they'd have to go around a corner, right? So I can't see
There you
anything
go.
in the closet from my bed, so I'm fine.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. If a boogeyman came out of our bathroom, then I'm in trouble.
Oof.
And that's
That'd be
that's a more likely place where we
a
had
wet boogeyman.
a toilet based boogeyman
Oh,
that was more
Jesus.
likely
No,
to come out
thank
of there.
you. The fluke monster from X-Files.
Oh no! Oh god, we were talking about that one the other day. Yeah.
Dude, I have
Oh.
like a statue this tall
Do
of
you
it.
really?
and I
No,
had it on my toilet.
that was one of the oh, no, that's the
So every time you
worst.
pissed, you had to look at it.
That
But
was one of the best episodes slash
when I
worst
started dating
episodes.
Andrea, it got put into storage.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yep. That's like most of my stuff.
Yeah.
It's still under the stairs to this day.
I still have it though. And
Nice.
it's funny because it was like it's like a statue made before statues got really good. So it was
Yeah.
like it was
Oh
kind
yeah.
it's like kind of shitty looking, but I still love it because it's X-Files. That's like my favorite show ever.
Oh, totally. I have the DVD box set of
Ooh,
the X Files. Yeah, man,
nice.
that's so creepy. The Fluke man, like he's so
Oh
gross.
yeah.
It's terrifying.
That and the
Um.
Peacock family. Ugh.
Oh God, that one
Ugh.
was the. Uh, what was the one I saw one a little while ago? I guess I can't even remember where I saw it. I was like at a hotel or something, and it was just on TV, and it was the Sullivan Biddle one where he like sees that guy that's him that's back in time where he's like a World War II soldier or something. Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
terrible. Anyway, yeah, it was a great show.
Mm. They're doing another season of it apparently
Oh, no way.
with just them. I just keep seeing like targeted ads, and it's just them with that old man and old woman grimace where they're like,
Nice. Is so it's Mulder and Scully then?
yeah,
Oh, sweet. Okay. Is
they
she going to
couldn't
do
even
an
make it
English? Is she going to do
anywhere
her
else.
English accent, or is she going to
I
do
don't
her
know.
regular voice?
I
Because I
can't even because they had like a season that came out a couple of years ago, and I can't. I know I watched it. I can't remember
yeah,
anything that happened.
I remember the what was the one? There was like a whole season with two other people. It was Annabeth Gish and Robert Patrick or something like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Fox was having like or David Duchovny was having like contract dispute, so they're
right.
like, we'll
Yeah,
just get this other guy.
yeah.
I watched the whole series. I think like probably 10 years ago. I watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so good, but I can't remember. My memory's so bad for TV. Like I'll watch something and I'll just be like,
Man, now I can't figure out who Annabeth Gish was, whose partner was on the X Files. It was
what?
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, it was Robert
Okay, it
Patrick.
was Robert Patrick. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what you were looking up. I was like, you
Oh,
said Robert
sorry. No,
Patrick. I was
I
like,
couldn't
yeah,
remember. I said Robert Patrick, and then I second guessed myself, and I was like, was it somebody else? No, it was Robert Patrick.
the guy from Terminator 2.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't remember what he did, but he was in Fox's spot. I don't know if he had the same job for the FBI that he
right.
did,
No,
but yeah.
maybe different. I can't remember either. That was like it was one of the seasons I just didn't. Yeah, I was like, oh, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever.
I guess the X
Yeah.
Files is over now.
So are you are you happy with our lively Baldoni coverage?
Lively Baldoni. That sounds like he's lively. Yeah. Lively Baldoni.
Lively Baldoni.
Yeah, you said his name like halfway through, and I realized, or you said Jabroni Baldoni, and I was like, the fuck's this guy's name? And I had to go look it up too. I'm like, oh, it's Justin. All right,
Oh,
cool.
did I not say Justin when I was reading that?
You
Okay.
you didn't say it at all, and then I was like, and then you said Jabroni Baldoni, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what this dude's name is. Good research, Jeff. Well done. So I had to
So
go back
good.
and I had to go
Wicked
look it up.
podcasting on my part. Don't
Oh
say the
yeah,
guy's name
yeah.
through that last half hour of the show.
It's all good. It's all good. That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so research assistant, big news. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right, I'm on it.
You think she
I'll
would
ask
do
her.
it?
I'll ask. I don't know. I'll ask her later on tonight. We'll see what she
Tell her
says.
I'm really good at reading out loud on the podcast.
Yeah. As long as the names are nice and easy to pronounce, I
Yeah.
think we're okay. Yeah. Totally.
and if they're ethnic, just phonetically spell them
say
out.
say them. Yeah. In the copy, just phonetically write them. The
Yeah.
details are unimportant. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's awesome. All right. Let's wrap this up, baby. Woo!
Good show. I
All
love
right.
it.
Okay.
We didn't
Excellent.
get an argument this time.
Hey, all right. That's the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Awesome. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Cool. I was a bit sad today, but I'm okay now. I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Was it looking at my face? You could tell me.
Always makes me happy.
I won't get arrogant.
You know
I'm
it.
already
You know
arrogant.
it makes me happy when I see your face. You know that.
No. Yeah, no, this I love doing this. It cheers me up too. It's just nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like, you know how people are always like, oh, why do people like podcasts so much? And it's like they don't understand
They don't get the
that
hangout
us
session
Gen
of it.
Xers are lively hanging out. Like we used to just go to Denny's for hours
Yeah,
and drink
hours.
coffee, smoke cigarettes, and talk. Like
Yeah,
we would do this
yeah, but like,
and not record it for the
you
posterity of
know,
time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I tell people tales of the 90s and the early 2000s, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I was telling somebody the other day about how, like, I existed and I lived in a world of information before the internet. And they're like,
Hmm.
what the hell? I'm like, yeah, like I had to go to a computer lab on campus in my first year of university to type up my papers.
Yeah. Or
Right.
if you go back to like when we were like between 5 and 15, when we have that whole like, whoa, what are dinosaurs? What are
Yeah, 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 yeah,
gladiators?
totally.
And
Yeah.
you want to find out, and you're like, let's go check the world book. And if
Yeah.
they weren't in there, you're just fucked because you're like, I'm not going to the library.
Yeah,
And like the
totally.
Dewey Decibel like system,
Man,
like the thing about going to a library where you had to pull a drawer out and it just had cards with like
cards on
alphabetical names,
thousands of cards.
and you just had to
And it was
switch
by
through.
author, and you just, yeah.
Yeah. And you would find the author, and then that would have like where in the library the book was. And you'd have
Yeah.
to go find the book.
Yeah. 906.1. That's how you get into
Yeah.
906.2, 906.2B.
Yeah. And it would be
I wrote
like
a second book. Yeah.
906 would be the subject, point one would be like which part of
Which
the
part of the shelf
area.
it's on? Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. Which part of the
Oh,
science discipline it's in? Yeah, it's fucked. It's crazy.
oh, and you
Yeah.
know, another thing that like I told somebody, they're like, somebody was talking about something and it, like the subject of being bored came up. And I was like, I literally haven't been bored since smartphones were invented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like every time I'm bored, I'm like, oh, let's just go fucking
Yeah. I
look
do
up some
remember.
random historical thing.
Do you remember being bored? Like,
Yeah.
I remember being bored and being like waking up on a Saturday and I'm single and I'm by myself and I'm in my house and I'm like 20, or my house,
Yeah.
my apartment, whatever. I'm 20 and I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do today?
Yeah. And you
And we were
couldn't
talking,
even just,
we talked about, we went, my buddies and I went for coffee this morning. And we talked
yeah.
about like how much we used to drink
Mm-hmm.
all the time, right? Or like the
Because it was
scuttlebutt
a
was,
something to do.
because when you got together with your friends, they're like, oh yeah, man, we got so drunk last night. I'm like, because
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing else to do, right? Like
Yeah.
there was no like, libraries were closed. You can't go learn at night, right? For the most part, right? Six
Yeah.
o'clock, libraries closed. Can't go out. Like 9 o'clock, I'm gonna go, I guess, get trashed and then go to
Yeah.
Denny's and smoke cigarettes and talk about shit till 3 in the morning.
And the other thing was how expensive entertainment was. Like even
So
renting a
expensive.
new run movie was
Yeah.
like $5, and back then
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
bucks was a lot.
25 bucks for a CD in the 90s,
Yeah.
right? To listen to a song,
Oh,
right?
that's
Like
crazy.
without radio interruptions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
We're so old.
12.95 for a cassette tape. Right. And like we're talking
Yeah.
like $1994.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like $1 million today. But yeah, like going to see a movie was like once a fucking
Yeah.
quarter kind of endeavor, right? It still kind of
Buying
is, I guess.
buying
But
a cassette was so expensive. Elon Musk would shut down your job if you tried to do it.
yeah, absolutely it would.
That's how
Yeah.
much money it
Oh
cost.
my god, it was so much money. Yeah. Oh, totally. And then I remember like, yeah, and the whole thing about Gen X's and how we've had so many fucking formats of
Mhm.
media, right? And like I remember like I had cassette tapes that were rare. I had cassette tapes that you could never do again, but then you can't find a cassette tape player anywhere. And I ended up donating them to the symphony orchestra. They were doing a drive. They're like, give us your old tapes and we'll recycle them. I'm like, all right, sure.
Oh,
Here, take my
crazy.
fucking old music. Here's my thousands of dollars of cassette tapes I've been collecting since I was 8. And they're no longer playable on any format. Just fucking take them.
Yeah, we had fucking
I'm never gonna hear Huey Lewis in the news sports ever again. To buy it
yeah.
on CD, and now I have to buy it on digital. God, what's next? I'm gonna have to have it implanted in my brain.
Yeah, I'm so glad we pretty much ended at digital. Like digital came
Dude,
out like what,
don't say that
20
because there's
years
gonna be
ago?
one more thing. Yeah, fuck, dude. Okay. I'm gonna give you the Smiths.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Smiths. I've got this one Smiths album that I had a record that my dad gave me when we had a record player when I was a kid. That I
Which
bought it on
album?
tape. The God Save the Queen.
The big one?
No, yeah.
The one with Big Mouth on it?
Big Mouth. Yeah, that one. What the
Love
hell is
that
that?
song.
I can't even think of the album title anymore. I'm so mad about this. Hold on. Now I got to look it up because I'm going to get all upset.
God, that's a good album.
It's a great album.
Fuck, the Smiths are so good.
Anyway, so I had it on record. Yeah. The Queen is dead. Okay. So I had the record, and then my dad's record player shit the bed. Like the needle was fucked on it, so I couldn't listen to it anymore. So I went out and I bought it on tape, and then the tape got chewed up in my car. CDs came out. I bought the CD, and then I don't know what happened. I think I still have the CD. It's in this basement in a Tupperware jug of like CDs I have under the stairs. And I was like, well, I missed that Smiths album. I want to listen to it again. And if a double-decker bus crashes into us to die by your side. Anyway, we're gonna get sued for copyright infringement. So I wanted to hear that song. So I bought it I downloaded it, right? So now, and then Apple, that was on like Apple Music before it got the new format where it's like all streaming now and you don't actually get to own physical media anymore on it.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm just like, and then it came up on Spotify the other day. I'm like, fuck, Morrissey, you owe me money. I've bought your fucking album 6 goddamn times. You owe me money now. You owe me money. Morrissey owes me money. And it's stuck in my head. It's bullshit.
Nice. Yeah, anyway, I just do Spotify. I just like,
yeah, I've got Spotify now. I'm like, Spotify. What if I even listen to music at all? It's just on Spotify. I've got it on my phone. We've got a family plan. The 3 of us use it.
And it sucks because if something's not on Spotify, I won't hear it.
And then
And I went years and I was like, when's Doughboys coming on Spotify? And now it's on Spotify. So I was like, fuck yeah. And then I finally listened to it. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Like, man, cool. That was awesome. Great. Yeah, totally.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks for joining us for Outrage Factory. If you guys ever want to talk about something, either just comment under the video or send us an email at outragefactpod@gmail.com. You can find us on, I'll just put it in the show notes. I can never remember. Then I sound dumb when I miss it.
Morrissey, if you're watching this, you owe me $75. You can send it to outragefactory@gmail.com. Just Venmo me some cash. You fucking owe me money.
We'll pay our research assistant with it.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Until next time,
stay angry.
Over the top.